promise. We're talking about promises, not just the kind of promise you make to clean up your room and then go right back to playing Angry Birds on the iPad and forget what you just said.
This is the kind of promise that God makes at His word.
And throughout the Bible, there are a great many promises that God has made. Things that you need to know about to live the life that God has planned for you.
People sometimes break their promises because we're not perfect.
But God, He is perfect. And when He makes a promise, He means it. And He will never break it.
Welcome, everybody, to the greatest story of all time. A story filled with adventure, danger, courage, danger, a princess and a little dog named Danger. This story has it all.
Dan, what are you talking about?
Just a story about an incident from when we were kids.
You are not talking about...
Oh yes, I'm talking about the high diving board.
Not the swimming pool story. No. Oh, not the...
Many moons ago, when we were much younger, we found ourselves in unfamiliar territory. The sun was sunny. The sky was found up in the sky, and a school bus was pulling into a local swimming pool. As the children disembarked in an orderly fashion, except for little Tommy Spence, who always rushed to be in the front of every line, nobody realised that today would change the lives of two little boys.
Yes, there we were, Dan. You and I excited for swimming lesson day. You were wearing your new Transformer swimming shorts.
And you had your brand new Barbie doll towel.
No, I didn't.
Sorry, it was Cinderella.
No, it wasn't. It was an Iron Man towel. It was distinctly an Iron Man towel because I remember when I first used it, you asked who it was and I was like, oh, it's Iron Man. And you were like, oh, does he do the ironing? And I was like, no, he's a superhero and he pays people to do his ironing.
Okay. So we were standing there at the edge of the pool. You had an excited look on your face because you love swimming. I had a confused look on my face because you had a Sleeping Beauty towel.
Iron Man.
But we didn't get into the pool that day. The teacher said that we were going to do something different.
This was a shock, not only to myself and my companion, but to all of the kids in our class, especially Tommy Spence, who had already jumped into the pool. The teacher explained that because we've done such a good job learning freestyle swimming, backstroke, butterfly and doggy paddle, that we would have a special treat this lesson. We were allowed to jump off the high diving boards.
We all celebrated, but you, my friend of many long years, seemed disheartened. I thought it must have been because you had a Minnie Mouse towel.
Iron Man.
But it seemed much more serious than that. You looked taken aback, like when you steal candy from a baby. So I've heard.
I had never told anyone that I was afraid of heights, and I didn't want anyone finding out. Next thing I knew, I was standing on the edge of what could only be described as the tallest structure known to man.
It was the kids' diving board.
And I was a kid.
Yeah. And so were all the little girls from kindergarten who were jumping off the diving board.
I couldn't do it, Dan. I just couldn't do it. I climbed down and walked the walk of shame while the whole school, literally the entire school, was laughing at me. I had failed. I was too scared.
At that moment, with the taunts of your schoolmates ringing in your ears, you sat there despondent, like a wee girl playing with a broken doll. But the sound of 100 messages from church started to form in your brain. God tells us that we shouldn't fear because He is always with us.
So as I stood there at the top of the highest diving board to try again, I realized God had shown me. Even though I was scared of jumping off to my potential death, I was actually more scared of what everyone else thought about me. I should care what God thinks of me, and He doesn't need me to jump off a crazy high platform to impress Him.
That's right!
Then something amazing happened.
I did what any good friend would do to help his friend face his fears head on. I did something so brave, so noble, so selfless that they'll talk about this awesome deed for centuries to come.
Dan, you pushed me off the platform.
And we lived happily ever after. Except you still had a Rapunzel princess towel.
Iron Man.
Never fear, always near. God promises to never leave you or let you down.
Psalm 32 verse 8, I will guide you and teach you the way you should go. I will give you good advice and watch over you.
There are times when we might feel alone or left out in the cold by life.
The truth is, we are not alone. God promises that He will never leave us or let us down.
He won't leave us out in the cold. He won't forget about us, and He doesn't give up on us when things get too hard.
He is always with you. In the Bible, we read about Joshua. When Moses had died, Joshua was to lead God's people into the promised land.
It wasn't going to be easy. The city of Jericho was a fortress, surrounded by high walls and inside an army, ready for battle.
He would have been terrified.
Deuteronomy 31:6 says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you."
God was with Joshua, and God is with us, and He promises never to leave us or let us down.
We don't have to be afraid or worried about anything because God promises to take care of us.
2 Timothy 1:7. God didn't give us a spirit that makes us weak or fearful. He gave us a spirit that gives us power and love.
It helps us control ourselves. Wherever we go, He is there. No matter what we're facing, we're not alone.
Never fear, He's always near. God promises to never leave you or let you down.